Hi guys, welcome back to our virtual art class. I hope you guys had a really good spring break and you're ready to get back into our art. So this week we are going to be learning something a little new. Well, it's actually very new. This is what our finished product we want to look like. This is called 1-point perspective. So when we look at a landscape like this, we have our mountains in the background, we have our sky, we have trees, and we have a road. And when we stand in the middle of a road and we look down it, what is closest to us is bigger and what is furthest away is smaller. So we know that if we were to ride down this road, we wouldn't actually get to the end of it right here. When we get down to this point, it would look like this again because it's closest to us. So 1-point perspective is looking at a picture from 1 point. So if we were standing in the middle of this road and looking all the way down, it would get smaller to this point. Not exactly like this, but this is a good representation of what might happen when we are standing and looking down a road like this. The other thing that happens is things in the side, the periphery, side of our paper, are also going to be bigger when they're closer to us and gradually get smaller as they move away. So gradually means I have the biggest tree right here, and then it gets a little smaller, and a little more, and a little more, and a little more, and a little more. It doesn't go directly from big tree, small tree. The further away it gets, the smaller it gets. And then of course our background, what's in the very back, is furthest away and is going to appear the smallest and less detailed further away it gets. So now you're probably wondering, how am I gonna make this? Well, if we were in our art room, we would probably use a ruler. And usually when we use our ruler, we don't even really look at the numbers that much. We just use it to get a straight line. So there's lots of things around our house that we can pick up and get a straight line from. I could get my laptop and put it in the center of my paper and get a nice straight line from it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use my laptop. You could use the side of a book, the side of a folder, the side of another piece of paper, the side of your notebook, and we just need a nice straight line. And in the middle of that nice straight line, I'm just gonna eyeball it. You're gonna make a dot. This is your point. This is why we call it 1-point perspective. This is your point. Because we're standing right here in the middle of the road and we're looking down to this point, and that's our vanishing point. So now what we need to do is make the sides of our road. So I'm gonna get the side of my iPad now, and I'm just gonna mark a little place on the sides of my paper. So they're about the same distance from the corner. You want to try to eyeball it enough that they're going to end at the same place. Now these are not necessarily points. They are just end marks for us. So I'm going to line up my little end mark on this side with my vanishing point. So I made a diagonal line from my vanishing point to my little end point over here, and I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. A diagonal line from that point to my end point. All right, that's pretty good. If it's not perfect, it's okay. We just want the diagonal lines, and you wanna make them about the same distance from the corners of your page. So you've done the hard part. Now we start adding our details of our picture. And I made this one very simple for you guys. I'm gonna make, this is a good practice, the center of our road. There are those little lines in the center of the road that keep you on your side of the road. So the closest one to us is going to be the longest one. And as we get away, they are going to get shorter and shorter as they move closer to our vanishing point. And that's not a perfect line. So what I could do is I could use my ruler or the side of a book and keep them in a really straight line. So the same thing is going to happen with the trees that you make. And you don't have to make your trees just like mine. I like to make my trees look like a Christmas tree, because if we're out in the mountains, there's lots of those pine trees. So I like making ones that look like this. You could make a triangle tree. You could make what we think is a normal looking tree. But no matter what tree you make, they are going to get smaller the further away you are. So we started really big and they gradually got smaller. And it's the same thing going in the background too. So if I were to make a tree back here, they would get smaller the further they got away too. Like that. I suggest sticking with one type of tree. So if I wanted to make more of these trees, maybe on this side, I would start with one of those nice big trees. So make sure you fill in your background like I did over here, or the back behind the trees, because our mountains and our sky is our background. So with my mountains, I just kind of made a bunch of different little, it's kind of just like one long zigzag line. With lots of different peaks and valleys. So there are my mountains. And then I made my sky. Then you can go back in and color it in. I outlined all my major lines. So this is called a horizon line back here. And as I outlined and colored in, my vanishing point kind of disappeared. You want to erase your vanishing point, you don't want to make it obvious. So once I'm done with this and I want to go back and color it in, I would erase my vanishing point and pretend like it was never there. So I outlined my mountains, my clouds, my trees, my road, and I did a yellow line in the middle. And with my road, you can see things that are closer to you are lighter, things that are farther away are darker. So I showed that in my coloring too. And you guys are welcome to try that if you want to. It gives your drawings and your coloring a little more depth, makes it look a little more realistic if you want to try to do that. So you guys are welcome to color it however you want to. If you want to add extra things into your trees, like people or animals, whatever you want to do, you can try and do. You could try to add cars on the road, but I'm giving you a very simple outline of what this is. So I hope you have fun with it. Make sure you upload your final colored in and everything to the Google Classroom. All right, guys, I hope you have fun with that. Bye.